All right, here we go. Please subscribe to the channel. Please.
Hey guys, YouTube's got an algorithm and it'd really help us out a lot if you could like, comment, and subscribe. This is how we can get more information out to more people and share the message of Toronto real estate.
In
Thanks.
that order, like, comment, subscribe, and hit the damn bell.
Things are not going well today.
Why? What's wrong?
I had to do a restart on the computer. I got a mic where the light is flashing.
Oh, that's not
That's
exciting.
a fault
I thought
with
you were going to
these
tell me something like exciting.
blue. Well, I got a firm offer on Shepherd last night. That's exciting.
Whoa.
Yeah. So
No way.
yeah.
And the guy went firm next door?
No.
Just went firm on Shepherd on its own volition?
Yep.
That's fantastic. Can you tell me the number, or does this have to happen off air?
Well, it's lower than the last number that you know, but there's room and it's not that bad. I think it's, it makes sense. But
Does it have a 3 in front of it?
Almost.
Oh,
no.
no.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. You got a firm offer. Did you accept the firm offer?
No, there's gonna be a sign back.
Ah, all right. Well, that is a step in a direction. That's good.
Yeah.
Good for
So,
you.
how are you?
Good. I'm good. Nothing going on.
Nothing's
Pretty
going on.
slow. No.
Pretty slow. How's that application coming? Aren't they, telling you stuff? Aren't they screaming at you, telling you you're crazy and that you need to wait another 6 years before you can resubmit?
They did send us a letter saying that they consider the application complete, so that's good.
Ooh, nice.
That's a milestone.
Good.
What's that? Are you all right? Are you there? Did we lose
Yeah.
you? Can you hear me?
Glitchy. I'm here.
Oh, okay. They sent out a notice in the mail to, I guess, people within a certain radius that this is happening.
That's
And
good.
then they sent us a bill for that. I had to
And
pay
they're-
$500 for them to send out a mailer that I think most people probably throw in the garbage. Plus, like, I got one, my partner got one. We could have saved a couple of bucks by not sending them to us. We already know what's going
It
on.
could have been $499.
And I would
Right?
imagine
the dollar for every
probably-
stamp.
Well, they're charging like I don't know, $10 per person that they sent it out to. I don't
Overcharging.
think it's fair, yeah. I don't think that's
So-
fair.
And only 50 people. Like, come on.
Well, and they probably sent one to one of the properties and one to the other property. So there's probably at least 4 that went to us. But anyways, this is dollars put to good use as usual.
Yep.
What I'm really happy about over there, that happened literally in the last couple of days. We are at full capacity. No occupancy here.
No vacancy.
No vacancy.
No vacancy. Awesome.
Full occupancy. What did I say? Yes.
Yeah.
No vacancy here.
Beautiful. I love it.
Yeah. What's fantastic.
Did you get a weed shop in there or what?
No, we averted the weed shop.
Wow.
It's going to be problematic, I think.
I think so too.
We did sign on. You want to hear this? Here, this is a big blossoming industry about to just burst on the scene.
You're hearing it here first, folks. The
Tell me
newest
if this
industry
doesn't
to
sound
invest your
great.
money in.
Yes, tell me if this doesn't sound great to you. It's a cafe with no food, no drinks, sports cafe, mind you, and hookahs everywhere.
Find the closest hookah bar and invest. That's wise words from Darryl Frankfort.
I got a lot
no
of
drinks. When you say drinks, you mean like no alcoholic drinks.
No alcoholic drinks. I think there's going to be like a vending machine or something with some drinks in it.
Yeah. So they're just looking for a place to smoke.
I don't care. They gave me like 4 months rent. We're good to go.
Yeah. So hookah bars, the landlords have an issue with that, obviously, because of ventilation and all that stuff. But if you're just kind of like, hey, we might be tearing this place down, you can come. Your money's welcome here.
They're gonna have to fight the Chinese food restaurant with regards to who will have the most intense odor coming from it.
Yeah. Smart. Smart.
I figure
Oh.
they'll balance each other out. We got a
Yep.
dressmaker for the second story. That's always good.
Great.
And beautiful, beautiful.
What's the rent on the
Short
second story
term.
places? It must be pretty cheap, right? $1,000 a month or something. You just lipped that. I didn't hear anything.
Three.
3,000. Oh, how many square feet is it?
6,000.
6,000 square feet?
Yeah, there's like a leak. It's like
No, I know, but
great.
that's huge.
Huge, but like who's
That's cheap.
renting anything for 12 months? We found
Yeah.
two people.
$6 a square foot.
The other space is the same amount, but for 1,400 square feet.
Nice.
But
So
it's
that's
all,
a little
listen, it's just about getting money for a short amount of time that's willing to leave in a short amount of time,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah. And you're upfront with everybody where you're telling them like, look, it could be 1, 2, 3, 5 years. We don't know, but this is what you need to agree to. And they're all okay with that.
Demolition clause, and these two are just 12-year or 12-month terms. 12 months with like month to month, and we can kick you out after 90 days notice.
There you go.
Beautiful.
Commercial
Anyways.
Tenancies Act. Right now, the Commercial Tenancies Act is twisted. So we've got an issue over on one of the projects that we're working on, and the guy's not paying his rent. And so how the government stepped in back in 2020 is they offered the Canadian commercial rent assist. I'm lost now in the letters, but the big long one where the landlords had to participate, right? And the landlords would have 25% responsibility. Tenants would pay 25.
It's
Hey?
the ceviche.
Ceviche?
Yeah, it's the ceviche program. No?
No.
Okay.
It was like CCREB or whatever. It doesn't matter. So then the government paid 50%. So that ended, I think, September 2020, and then they introduced a new one, which is the Commercial Emergency Rent Subsidy or Canadian Emergency Rent Subsidy, CERS, CERS. That's the new one. Okay. So how it works though is if a tenant's not paying his bills and he can provide you proof that he is applied for CERS and he has an approval for CERS, you cannot lock his doors or evict him for 12 weeks. Okay. So they had a commercial rent eviction ban. That's over now. I think that was done in April. Then now it's if they've got an application in and they've been approved, you can't evict them. So this guy has been approved since like September and he's been getting the money. He's not giving it to the landlord though. So now he's getting his government money. He's running his business and earning his income. And you can't evict him. You cannot evict him. April 2022 is right now the date where this is all going to be over, but that might be extended like everything else.
So this guy can save up enough money to buy himself a building in April.
Yeah. So he takes his money, he uses it, he's using the government subsidy. He doesn't need the landlord's permission for anything, and he just spits in the landlord's face and says, "You know what? I'm going to give you instead of 3,000, I'm going to give you $500. Even though the government just paid me $2,000 and I can prove this to you, you can't do anything about it. And you can't do squat." Yeah. So here we are.
Seems a little unfair, but I guess part of his plan has to be to move at the end because there's no way that the landlord's going to.
He's lost interest. I went to go see him about 2 weeks ago, and he's yelling at me for something. And then a customer comes in, and the customer's yelling at him like they're about to go in the the store.
Wow. So this guy's at the end of his rope. He's fighting.
He's not interested in the business anymore. So what the government's relying on is they're relying on people to be willing, who want to continue their businesses. They're relying on people who are actually trying to save their businesses. But if you are already on your way out or COVID's ruined your business, you're just looking at it like, okay, I got an opportunity here to pull in some extra bucks and the landlord can't do anything about it. And they're probably few and far between, but this happens to be one of them.
Why? So you say they're relying on the people that are keeping afloat?
The government's like with the honor system is saying, hey, we're going to give you this money and you're going to give it to your landlord, right? You're gonna forward it to them, right? Because you have a lease agreement with them. You've got a contract. You're gonna make sure that you send them this money, right? And then the tenants are like, oh yeah. Just put it in my bank account. It's fine. I'll cut them a check. Okay,
This
we'll
must be
protect you
happening
from
all over the
eviction.
place,
No,
right?
because most people want to. It could be. I don't know. I talked to some bailiffs, and they were telling me it's a problem, but it doesn't seem widespread because none of the news media outlets have reported on it yet. But it's definitely the issue that we've got over there.
Gotta be an issue. I mean, it can't just be happening here in this one circumstance. Anybody that's kind of on their way out or winding down their business, why the hell wouldn't you do that? You just got, are you frozen?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
I'm doing my best. No,
Stoic.
because you're still going to be, because you'll still get sued. At the end of this, he's still going to owe the money. His corporation, which actually there's a personal covenant on this. So there is, he's going to be responsible at the end for this.
So we're kicking it down the road though, a little bit.
Yeah. He's going to end up having a big bill, right? So
That's too
unless
bad.
you've got some super airtight, structure with no more personal covenant on your lease and that it's all in a corporation name and you're winding it down and your leasehold improvements and all your chattels and assets are worth nothing, then yeah, okay. Like, sayonara, hasta la vista. Here we go. On my way out. Bon voyage.
Hmm.
So
there must be a lot of people that are like considering this right now. Like, how much longer can you hang on for? And then now everybody's talking about, are we in wave 4? Are we about to go into wave 4? Or what? Which wave are we on?
I think
Anyway.
the election is the fourth wave.
Oh my God, TK, do you want to go there? Do you want to go
I'm
there?
just saying. I think
What
the
day
election is
today? When do we have to
tomorrow.
vote by? Tomorrow?
Yeah.
And are we voting, TK? Are we voting?
We're voting. Yeah.
I think I'm gonna vote.
Every vote
this year.
counts. I always vote.
I know. I'm sure you always vote.
I force my wife to vote. I don't force her who to vote for. Like,
Yeah.
I may influence her a little bit, but I don't.
Right.
I don't like watch her ballot and say, who did you vote for?
Who are you voting for? Who are you voting for?
But I do. I go with her every single time, and I said, no, we're voting. We're not missing out on this. So.
And do I think we have great options to choose from? And especially this local guy that I have to vote for to get the guy at the top I want in office.
Yeah.
This is the best system ever.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
in order for me to get the guy I want in office, I got to vote for some local guy who I don't know anything about this guy other than he's got like signs around my neighborhood. Maybe I would have seen him somewhere at some point. Somehow.
I think the
Really twisted.
the popular vote is always with the party that you want. And then the party controls. Like, see, there's a lot of scandals right now. Say how like so and so is being removed because of a tweet he sent out in 2003.
Yeah, this guy, charges dropped against him, and they got rid of this guy.
Yeah. He made some anti-Semitic comment on Instagram back in, right? And they're just like, all right, that's it. We got to get rid of him. So it really doesn't matter. I think the guys who win, really, it doesn't matter who you are. Like, it's a little different. Municipal politics, it's different, right? You got to be like, no, I'm voting for that person. That person's my counselor. They're gonna fight for me. But provincial and federal, I think you're voting for the party you want, and whoever they got in that chair with the name on the sign in your neighborhood is the guy you get, and you just accept it.
Yeah,
right. You just accept it.
Crazy.
He's good. He's a good guy.
It took a committee to decide on this procedure at some point in time that this was the best way to go about doing this, right?
Yeah. Why not just put Justin Trudeau on the sign, right? Why not just put the actual, Aaron O'Toole? That's who you're voting for. Oh, I'm going to vote for Aaron O'Toole. And whoever he's assigned to my neighborhood, okay, then that's fine because
Why do we
know.
need a party? Why can't we just vote for either Justin Trudeau because we think he's the best based on what he says, or the other tool based on what he says, or that other lady or that other guy based on what they... I like that guy. I think he should run the country. I'm going to vote for him. Now, locally, I don't know either of these guys. Somebody has to show me why I'm voting for you or the other guy. not a party. What's the party stuff all about? When did parties even make sense?
Mhm.
How do you go into office going like, wow, it's like it's magical how this party's ideals line up exactly with all of mine. Right? Like
I
to
want
the
them to be in
T.
power, forever.
Like,
Yeah.
it's so amazing that every single thing I care about is in line with how this party is behaving.
Yeah.
Not even realistic. We
No.
need look at how many genders there are right now. How many parties should there
We
be?
can't figure out political parties. We can't even figure out anything else.
We have
Identities.
4 political parties or maybe 5. Everybody thinks the
There's
Green
probably
Party is
more.
a bunch of hippies smoking weed, so nobody even thinks about them. They're discounted instantly.
Yeah.
And then, like, what are your other options right now? I don't even
Bloc
know.
Québécois, NDP, right? I think
Oh,
yeah, I think it's a weird system, and we kind of make fun of the states when they're like, Republican, Democrat, and it's like, oh, like how stupid is that? But
we
really,
should
we have the
caucus
same thing.
here?
We just tell people that there's options. No, you can vote for it. You don't have to vote conservative or liberal. You have lots of options. And now they got the PPC party, right? I don't know if that's new or not, but this
What's
seems to be.
PPC? Conserve? No.
No, that's the PC. So PPC stands.
What's Tory? What's Tory?
Tories are conservatives.
So, but somebody got kicked out of the Conservative Party, and they're still running Tory.
People's Party of Canada.
People's Party. Of
Maxime
Canada.
Maxime Bernier. Right?
This whole thing is a shit show.
A little confusing. This is not a political show. Clearly, we don't know what the hell we're talking about, Darryl. Let's talk about some real estate. What's going on out there?
There's no effect on the real estate market, though, from any of these guys. Well, okay, so you sent me 3 articles. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem.
You're doing a lot of research lately.
I'm just making sure we got a few things. When it's just you and I, we got a couple articles out there.
I appreciate that. I don't know which one to start with. Let's start with what most people are probably talking about. How about inflation? Inflation, does that have any effect on real estate? Should we talk about this? Here, hold on. Let me share my screen because I like doing that, and it kind of breaks things up a little bit.
Yeah, shows like some
the whole time
organization, right? Look at that.
What are we seeing?
Here's an article. This is just a global news one. Obviously, there was a bunch of them this week.
Canada's inflation rate reached 4.1% in August, highest since 2003.
Transitory.
Transitory is probably not so transitory.
They don't use that word in this article, but that's what they're saying.
They don't use that word
basically.
anymore. When was the last time you heard transitory?
That was a good buzzword, though.
It was good for a bit until everybody kind of
a couple months ago, and everyone said, "Oh, wait a second, it's still going."
Gas prices 32.5% year over year.
Let's talk about gas prices just first, okay? The reason that they said it would be 3.2% if the gas prices weren't a factor. Like, gas prices go up and down all the time. Like, are you ever concerned when gas prices go up? Are you ever like, oh my gosh, the housing market's going to collapse, and the bank is going to want to repossess my home, like when gas prices go up?
No, but there have been times, quite honestly, where I was like really standing there filling up my pickup truck going like, man, this is going to cost like $160 to fill this thing up. This is nuts. And generally worried if my card would actually be authorized.
Yeah.
But that's a whole other story.
Yeah.
The thing is like, well, I mean, depending on your tank size, this can mean a $1 difference at the pump every time you go, $3. I mean, it's not even a pack of smokes. Like, most people just absorb it and move on. Like, they don't even think about it. Who's out there going like, oh my God, they went up 4 cents. I can't fill up till Tuesday now. There's actually people that time that, though.
Yeah, I don't have time for that. But there's definitely not a major concern for me when gas prices are fluctuating, because they always have. And yeah, sometimes they're closer to $1, and sometimes for regular, and sometimes it's closer to $1.30, and you just kind of go with the flow, right?
Yeah, I mean, 30%. Like, what? I don't know. How much does your car cost to fill up?
Right now it's 80 something.
$80. So 30%. It's a pack of
It was close. It was closer to 65 or something like that before.
I'm surprised the prices aren't just artificially way higher anyways all the time. Like, why do they even go down? Everybody has to use it. Everybody pays for it anyways. Like, nobody's picketing about gas prices anywhere.
Mhm.
Nobody's, there's no politics around gas prices at the moment. Why aren't they pushing them up higher? Make more money off these idiots.
Yeah.
No, but
Yeah,
really,
I don't understand all the microeconomics of fuel prices, but
but they,
overall, right now the price of oil is going up because it was obviously being produced like at a crazy level back in 2020 in the summer, right? OPEC was like basically saying, "Hey guys, we're just going to start pumping out as much reserves as possible," right? So then that way they had a huge amount of stored fuel. So then it was like, well, we've got so much abundance of fuel, prices are going to go down. And then that's when oil prices were super low. And that's when Alberta tanked and everybody was going crazy. So now they're trying to say, all right, let's, keep some reserves off the books and try to push prices back up, which is to me what they should be doing, like you said.
but why would you say if we take out something that everybody uses every day and everybody needs and the price doesn't matter, why would we take that out of the consumer price index? Like that seems to me like that would be a staple.
No, they're not saying take it out. What they're saying is that it was
If
heavily
we took it
weighted.
out,
It was
yeah.
heavily weighted. Yeah.
So, but they're okay. So let's.
So if gas prices remain the same as they were a year ago, then we would have been at 3.2. That's what they're saying. If they took the 32% increase out,
No, I get it.
not
but why
not
that?
gasoline prices out.
No, but why that? It should be like if we took out like pizza, the rise in pizza that nobody needs.
It would
know,
be
like-
4.19999%.
Or like the rise in microwave prices, right? Like
Yeah.
like items people don't give a shit about but are buying.
the
Anyway.
semiconductors has been, I think, the biggest talk, right? These semiconductors,
Oh, yeah,
which
they're
I
fucking up
couldn't
everything.
I
And
couldn't point
lumber.
I couldn't point out a semiconductor in a lineup. You know what I mean? I'd be like nuclear fusion, my hard drive for my Macintosh, semiconductor. Yeah, I wouldn't know the difference.
You wouldn't know the difference, but if you had a lineup of products, you probably wouldn't know which ones didn't have any chips in them. Right? Like
Yes.
you'd be surprised what the fuck needs a chip to be complete
What does?
these days, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like even a kettle, it's stupid.
Yeah.
Right. So I mean this is not going to get any better. So prices are going to go up. But anyway, so we got 32% there. We've got 7%, 8%, 8.7% for lumber. And lumber went all over the like to the moon and back, right? Now it's lower than ever. And I don't even know how that works. But anyways, that's lower. This whole thing is just a bunch of crap. Okay, what do we got? Where was food? Food was like 4% or something. Can't find it right now. But food was ridiculously low. They said like meat was up like 5% or something.
Yeah. So new cars, because of the semiconductors, are up 7.2%, which is a huge increase in new vehicles.
Oh my god.
When you think about it.
Oh my
right?
god, yeah. My brother-in-law is trying to buy a new car and he's like he can't get anything that he wants because you have to wait so long for anything right now. It is nuts. It is absolutely nuts. Like everything is fucked.
Yeah, and you've got a lot of stuff like first we had that Suez Canal blockage, right? But now you have like so many other.
That was after COVID shut down all the ports.
After COVID, exactly. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Then you had the Suez Canal. Then everybody realized, oh my god, all the shipping containers are on the wrong end of the planet.
That's the problem right now. Is the shipping? It is a nightmare. There are factories full of shipping containers in China because people don't want to pay the shipping. So they're basically saying like, no, I don't even want my goods anymore. You just keep them there and I'll let you know when to ship them. There are shortages in shortages in containers, shortages in logistics. It's crazy.
The prices have gone from like $3,000-$4,000 per container to $24,000 per container.
four times shipping costs easy. No problem.
So like imagine you're a furniture company and you have I don't know how many sofas fit in a container, but like let's say 30 sofas fit in a container, right? I don't know, even if it's 60, 50, I don't know how many fit. I guess it depends on the size, but there's not that many that fit in a container. They're not that big, right?
Yeah.
So you got these big sofas, and now all of a sudden, instead of each one costing like $30 in freight or $50 each in freight,
Yeah.
they're all thousands of dollars in freight. The
Yeah.
price of the sofa is $5.99. Right?
Yeah.
The retail price of the sofa is $7.99 or something, but the
Yeah.
shipping is $2,000 per piece.
Exactly. So are you going to ship that? No. You're going to say, leave it there. I'm okay. I don't need them right now. Let me know when prices come down. And that's what people are doing.
Oh, yeah, but it's already paid for before it ships. So
I know,
what do you, so
but
yeah,
there's-
so you're leaving your product there.
You're leaving your product there. You're not getting your product.
Well, that's going to have implications on the supply chain.
But what do you
Because
do?
you know what? The Chinese guy's going, I'm not leaving it here. I'll sell it to the next guy in
They're
line who's
paying for
waiting
storage
it.
over there.
It is.
That's the problem. They're paying to have these containers just sitting there with the stuff that they've already paid for.
Compounding of problems. And this was
Yeah.
all done in order to stave off inflation, right? Because this is all deflationary stuff. Buying stuff from China was
Yeah.
extraordinarily deflationary for the last 20, 30 years because
Yeah.
products that were locally going to cost $1,000 all of a sudden were $199, including
Yeah.
freight and exchange fees and duties and everything, right? So it's like,
Yeah.
why the hell would we buy it here? But now look what's happening, right?
Yep.
Now look what's happening. What's going to happen? You have to find a local supplier now. You have to. And what's happening also, which I don't even want to get into now, but with all these low borrowing costs for businesses right now, what are people investing in? You think they're investing in people or automation?
Mhm.
Because how do you compete with the world stage other than a robot?
Yeah.
You can't, right?
Yeah.
A robot will cost you the same amount as a person for a year or two. So the only way to drive costs down locally, right,
Yep.
is to either figure out a new material to use that's local, that costs nothing, or to use super cheap labor, right? Which will segue into your next article. Okay.
Now, but before we go away from there, so what happened in I know.
Such a good segue.
It was a good segue. Don't worry. What happened so after World War I, right? So Germany, right? They had to pay back all this debt and all this money, and they had hyperinflation. Okay. After that, they decided, because what they were doing before is they were, outsourcing different things and they were sharing their economy, but their money the franc was no longer German franc, German mark was no longer worth any money, right? So what they would do is that they would stop trading internationally. They started producing more locally. They started to rely heavily on their manufacturing and all the different things that they could do within their own country, all their own engineering, all their own manufacturing, all their own supply, all that kind of stuff. So they actually built up their own economy in order to be able to fight hyperinflation.
Locally.
And that's the next step for North America, unfortunately.
Technology through
today's
engines. Nope.
Exactly. So today,
automation back then.
Yeah.
That's how they were able to bring it back local.
It was the Industrial Revolution. That's at that point in time.
Revolution. Lots of different technologies new at the time converged and set up that revolution and set up local economies that were able to produce, to be able to really build up like some war chests of capital. Right?
Exactly. And they were able to do it because they focused on it, and they said, this is the only way that we're going to be able to save our economy. And chances are, especially in the United States, I would say much more than Canada, that's going to be what they're going to be looking at now with all these shipping containers, right? They're going to say, wait a second, hold on. Why are we not producing semiconductors here? Why are we not producing here? Why are we not ensuring that we have enough of this? Why are we shipping out all these materials, right? So how about that segue?
Why? Perfect. Well, kind of perfect. I think it was better before, but that was very good. That was important information to add because it's true. But you know what? So if we go macro, if we go macro, what's going to happen is not making more stuff locally to send out in the world to make money. No, we're going to start stocking up local supplies and hoarding stuff. And every country is going to start to be local. And it's going to be about local renewable energies and local manufacturing and local like mineral sourcing. You know, it's going to be all. Canada would be so stupid to keep giving away all the stuff that the entire world is like super desperate for. And our whole economy right now is like based on digging this crappy oil out of sands, like the amount of energy it takes and the cost it takes. Like oil has to be at some ridiculous price per barrel in order for it to even make sense. But without that, this economy's fucked. Like, and every economy is the same way. Like nobody can afford to wait 6 months to sell stuff locally. You know, nobody can afford to wait for this cheap stuff, especially when like there's so many options right now if there's capital available. And that's the beautiful thing. There's capital available everywhere. On top of it, so now we'll segue into this. On top of it, we are dealing with, did it work? Canada faces skilled labor crunch when 700,000 tradespeople retire this decade, warns RBC. Now, the 700,000 is a load of horse shit because right below it, it says workforce will see a 10,000 worker deficit. So 700,000 people are going to retire, but it looks like 690,000 they assume are going to come into the workforce.
No. So the 10,000 worker deficit is just in those 56 Red Seal trades. There's other trades that they're not accounted for.
Account for 690,000?
No, that's the debt. The 10,000 is a deficit because there'll be some people who are being added to those Red Seal trades.
Saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But,
so the deficit is 10,000, but 10,000 is substantial. But they're not thinking this through here. Okay. So first of all, it takes a certain kind of person to be a laborer, right? To work physical labor. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Not everybody is willing to do this kind of stuff.
Yes.
And it seems to me that even our generation, for the most part, definitely the ones that come after ours, but our generation, we're not so into physical labor, right? We're all working in service industries to avoid physical labor as best we can. Now,
the bloody end.
To the bloody end. Like I did physical labor and I avoided it.
I was thinking about cutting the grass the other day and I was just like, whoa, wait a second. Hold on. I think I got a robot for that.
And listen, the current immigrants, what they come in and do is they're in the medical field as helpers. They are in the they're nannies, a lot of them. They're cleaning houses. They are working in retail. They are they're working in restaurants. Even most of the current immigrants are not jumping into the like labor force, right?
No,
they don't
not at the rate that everyone thinks or hopes. Yeah, it's in that article. I think it's only like 7%.
So hold on, let me compound it, which this article doesn't talk anything about, because what's coming down the pipe, whether anybody wants to recognize it or not, is very soon. Okay, so if you have a choice when you're younger and you don't like labor, like a lot of people seem to be driving things, right? A lot of people are driving cabs or driving Ubers or driving Lyfts or driving trucks. A lot of drivers, right? And people, I mean, have you seen drivers? I mean, they're not the most fit people for the most part, and they don't want to do labor, right? They made a choice a long time ago to drive something and sit in a chair all day and not, lift bricks and lift lumber and sling hammers and all that fun stuff, right?
Okay.
They're all about to get wiped out by autonomous driving. Now, how long will that take? I don't know, but it's coming, right? And these are not guys who are going to jump into the labor pool for physical labor. I don't think. These are guys that are going to figure out probably how to make some money on the internet or some other non-physical way would be option one, right? And now you have like Amazon, which is, I mean, if you talk to people or you read the news, it seems like it's like arduous work, but the reality is like you're standing in one place and you're doing a lot of the same repetitive stuff. That's like the best paying job out there right now. Minimum wage there is over $20.
Yep. Yep.
right?
They're hiring like crazy. Ads on the radio. They're going.
So they're going to suck up a lot of the people that are going to come out of the auto industry, and a lot of the immigrants are going there already. Like
Mhm.
retail's dying, right?
Mhm.
I guess the other industry that got hammered. I mean, restaurants are going to change because a lot of restaurateurs are going to be like, "Fuck, I don't want to go through this again. Like that business model doesn't work if this happens again. I need to be this proof." Maybe
Mhm.
not all of them, but a lot of them. My tenant, the Chinese food place, he's not opening up the restaurant again. He's just going to keep doing only takeout.
Mhm.
Right. And I see a lot of restaurants that even though they could be open, they have all their tables folded. They still have a barrier and it's like takeout only or like pickup only. Right. And so there's going to be a flood of people that need to work soon.
Mhm.
Right. And they're all going to be people that don't want to build things. Right. With their
So
hands. They're not going to want to. So what's going to happen next, TK? What have I been talking
I want to
about
know
since
what the
beginning?
the robots are coming. The robots are coming.
Look at this, TK.
I want to know the solution, Daryl. How do we get more
All of
heavy
us have
labor?
seen images like this already, right? Can you see
Mhm.
my screen? Am I doing this right?
Yep.
Now, these may not seem like robots, but like Amazon already. So Amazon is one of the biggest employers in the world. They have like 500,000 employees, but guess what? For every employee, they have a robot. And they're trying to make that ratio go the not even. Like they want it to be more robots than people. Because
Yep.
people are fucking annoying and they make unions and they go for cigarette breaks and they want to pee, you know?
Yep. Yep.
But we've all seen this. And so that's happening. So even these good warehouse jobs right now are very transitory. You want to talk about
Yep.
transitory? Jobs are transitory. Okay?
Good paying jobs are transitory. Take them while you can.
Look at all
Hey?
these robots, okay?
Yeah.
And they Amazon's got big crazy robots too. Are they showing any? Like they got these arm robots. They got everything. Like anything you can think of. Amazon has and the Amazon's not the only ones doing this, right? Like these are getting rolled out
They're
in
just
all
on the biggest scale.
kinds of they're on a crazy scale. Maybe
Yeah.
not even the biggest. There's probably companies in China that are doing this on a similar scale. But
Mhm.
anyway, so this is out there, okay? Now everybody's seen these lovable robots doing the parkour, right? Boston Dynamics.
Yep. If anything, right now they're entertaining.
If anything, they're entertaining. Well, did you see them actually doing that parkour? Where's that parkour video? Can I open it?
Oh, tumbling.
This is not the right video, but I mean, you get the point.
Yeah, if he
These
can do
things-
that,
right?
yeah, if he can do that, he's going to be able to figure out how to stack some boxes or move some bricks, right? And so let's get to the real estate solution here. Let's get to the real estate solution.
This is the real estate solution.
But that's what I mean. So let's
Right?
let's explain it, right?
So and then
So yeah,
Tesla
the Tesla
bot.
bot. Yeah.
The Tesla bot's supposed to be to do like redundant physical activities that humans can do. Like these will just be
Yeah.
able to move lumber piles and move steel and like make a wall and God knows what. But like, look at all the construction solutions that already are being. This is a very tiny picture for some reason. But you've got like remote control excavators. This is a drywall robot. This thing like does the mudding and taping.
Exactly.
Isn't that crazy? This thing's putting up plywood. Like, guess what,
There you
guys?
go. Yeah.
These are already
And
being
guess
used.
and guess what their shifts are.
24/7.
24-hour shifts, 24 hours, 7 days a week.
24/7.
You just set them on go, and you have a maintenance crew maintaining them. You have the crews that are there to supervise. You shut your human workforce down by 2/3, right?
So
And
hold on a sec.
you triple your productivity.
Production, efficiency. Watch
Yeah.
efficiencies. Watch
Yeah.
how quick nobody's sitting there going, "Hey, Sal, what do you think about this? Should I put it at 10.2 millimeters or 10.4 millimeters. Shut up, Vince. Just do it already.
Yeah.
Like, you know how long this takes? You drive by any job site and there's always
6
4
people
guys
standing around.
there going
Yeah.
like,
That's it.
whatever.
They'll just be a robot doing road work and stuff like that up and down the street eventually, right? So I agree, Daryl. I agree.
Hold on a sec.
It sounded like a conspiracy theory in 2020,
Well, 2020 was just a few months ago.
right? Yeah.
And it did sound crazy, but it didn't if you knew that all this stuff was happening, and this stuff's been happening like crazy. So so real estate. Okay. There's going to be people that are going to be like,
On a
this
real
is
estate show.
crazy.
On a
This
real
is
estate show.
horrible. This is ridiculous. But you know what? You know what keeps affordable housing affordable? If there's even ever going to be such a thing in this city again, you know what keeps prices down? Technology, automation. From the beginning of time till the end of time, that's going to be what keeps prices down, because humans are pigs and they want more, right?
Yeah.
And the
Prefab, 3D printing, automated, robotic, labor force, everything.
pennies on the dollar. Pennies on the dollar. You buy a robot for $100,000. How much does a laborer cost over the course of a year? Probably pretty close to 100 grand these days.
Yeah.
Okay. So there, 1 year, and you got until the thing breaks. I don't know how.
Europe and Asia are the front runners in this. Okay. Once it gets over to North America, we'll adapt. We'll be implementing it.
There's your cheaper real estate. There's your more supply. There's your more efficient construction methods. There's a lot of the answers, but all those guys are going to be looking for jobs too. So now everybody's looking for jobs. So what happens? What's the next thing that happens? Because how are you going to afford all these crazy home prices? Home prices in Toronto rise to record levels, and here's what experts say will happen next. And guess what the experts say?
Yeah.
No crash coming.
That's what they say.
Crash.
I think that there's going to be a huge amount of work created by automation. I don't think automation kills the working man's dreams.
Oh.
I think it's completely the opposite. We just shift manpower into other industries. We create industries. We create opportunities. We create a system that everybody's going to be able to function under based on, what it is that, the society needs, right? And there will always be a need for people to be doing manual labor. I've seen those movies from the future. I've seen those movies where they're based in like 27. What was that movie with Matt Damon? Remember? And he got his arm like taken off there. Asilium. Anyways, that's the movie, right? And you can see like they're making these robots, right? But there's got to be a guy still in the factory doing it. So there's a ton of work that's going to be coming from automation, and people shouldn't be scared of it.
No, people need to accept it, and they need to learn about it, because if you're a truck driver now, like really, and there's a truck that will drive itself, well, what are you going to do?
Well, you're gonna if you're
I'm
smart and
there's nothing to do. There's a million things to do.
If you got a trucker IQ, like the system and everything, you'll go into logistics. You'll go into behind the scenes, understanding how things work and distribution and all that stuff. Yeah.
But people need to start thinking now, because it's coming. It's coming
soon.
But
that's how all these shifts. So when the taxi guys were faced with Uber, like they all had to make those decisions. Like it is the world is tough. And that people need to understand that it's not always going to be, unicorns and rainbows.
Well, the reality is the politicians that we kind of somehow vote for in a roundabout way are really not doing anything about housing affordability. Why? Why, you ask? They can't. There's nothing to do about it. They can't all of a sudden just put a burst of supply out there. They can't do it.
Yeah.
They can't. I agree. I don't know why.
But they can focus on things like this. But unfortunately, it's capitalistic mindsets that are going to be able to bring this stuff to fruition. There has to be private enterprise.
All private enterprise
working in order to be able to fund their dreams. And there's going to be a company that's either existing today, okay, or has not yet been founded, okay, that is going to take over this industry. If it's not Amazon and Tesla, the two obvious front runners, okay, it's going to be another company, and they are just going to explode. They are going to take it over, and they are going to have it. And I think that whoever that person is, they're probably pretty young right now. They're probably building robotics, you know, as a child, that are like high level stuff, right? And as they get older, the level of understanding that they'll have of AI and automation is going to be to the point where they'll be able to, you know, really really do well. Just reminded me of a movie. So there's a movie called Free City. It's with Ryan. Oh man, I suck at this. The guy from Deadpool.
Really good at this. Yeah.
Yeah, the guy from
Reynolds?
Deadpool, Ryan Reynolds. And so he's a non-player character in this video game that everybody's playing. But
don't tell me about it. I want to see it.
It's a good movie.
New guy?
Free guy.
Yeah. Don't tell him. Don't talk about it.
Okay.
Just high level, no spoilers. I really want to see this.
It's the future of how AI will work. Right?
Yeah.
And that's what it is. It's artificial intelligence, and that what we'll have soon is we'll have the ability to be able to have problem solving robots.
See, TK, I'm really into all this stuff, so I know all these crazy things that are coming down the pipe that most people don't even like think about. I just happen to be interested in all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's just take real estate for an example. Recently, in the last 2 years,
because it's the Toronto Real Estate Show.
Well, I mean, I think everything we're talking about today has an effect on Toronto real estate and the real estate market, and just I think it does.
Yeah,
we need prices to stabilize. Like, they can't continue like this around the entire world. Like, there's not that much wealth being created and being spread out. Like, there's a ton of wealth being created by Bezos and Musk and the Arno guy and like some of these top guys, right? But like, not enough to spread around to create like mass wealth to be able to afford these crazy prices everywhere across the globe. It's not just Toronto, it's like everywhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
We need something like drastic that's going to have an effect on this thing to stabilize, or it's just going to keep running away. Like, look at this. Fall real estate market in Toronto area off to slow start as homeowners seem hesitant to sell. And it's talking about how like buyers are disappointed because all the supply they were expecting to come out now didn't materialize. So boots on the ground, man. What's going on out there?
Well, let's talk about the deal of the week. I listed a property at Nielsen in 401. It was a detached 3-level back split.
Okay, what is that? Scarborough?
It's Scarborough, yeah. Nielsen and 401, south of the 401 near military. Nice little community, nice little area of detached homes, you know, back splits, bungalows, 2 stories. Military Trail, Nielsen, just east of Nielsen.
Okay.
Okay. So the sales in the neighborhood were all like 800 to 900 of bungalows and back splits that were in rough condition. There was a sale of 2 stories that were renovated, 4 bedrooms, much bigger, totally beautifully done, 925 to 950. Right? So this was a 3-level back split, so it's smaller. So there's 1 level. It's not a 4-level, it's 1 level. So it's even smaller than a bungalow. And everything had to be changed inside. Cosmetically, the whole thing was a total
the difference
replacement.
Was 100, 125 between those 2 different types?
Well, like I said, the bigger homes renovated, 925 to 950. The house is like our size, bungalows, small back splits, 800 to 900. Okay, so we priced it at 800,000. Right? We were rough condition and we were the smallest house in the neighborhood. It also, the house is across the street back onto the 401. So the 401 is humming when you're standing on your driveway. It's right across the street. So we listed at 800. We got 65 showings. We had 11 offers. And it sold for $960. A week earlier, someone sold a renovated 2-story home, 4 bedrooms, beautifully done, double car, a nice, beautiful home right around the corner on one of the streets that's near the 401 as well, not backing onto the 401 for $950. And a week later, we got $960 for a smaller home that's in less, worse condition and everything else.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah. So that was the deal of the week. The sellers were very
Oh.
happy. They had moved out already up north. And where they moved to, which I wish I brought this, I sent this article to you. They moved to a trailer park.
I saw that article.
Yeah.
Trailer parks are the solution.
Honestly, I went up and met them to sign the listing, and then I went up and met them to sign the offer because that's where they were living.
Yeah,
And I thought it was a
September.
pretty cool. It was pretty
September.
cool
Tell me it's the solution in January.
in February. I know,
Yeah.
but it was a pretty cool, nice trailer. It was, like a little 2-bedroom bungalow with no basement. They had a nice yard. They had a nice setup there. It felt like I was at the cottage. Like it was pretty cool, and it was close too. It was only about 45 minutes away, 50 minutes.
Well, so that is an option. I think most people would not check that off if they were asked to make a list of top 3 options, but that is an option.
So the cost, they got into that one under 100 grand, but they were telling me about this like brand new one that's like the bee's knees. That was 170
Or the trailer?
for the trailer and the rights to the lot, I guess. I don't know, but then you pay the lot fees, which
Are
were
you buying the
under-
lot or you're renting
no,
the lot?
no. It's in a park, so you pay under 10,000 a year. Maybe it was 5, maybe it was 10, but it was around that number. And there was utility costs on top of that. So like I think they were talking about
So hold on a sec.
a
Can we
small amount of money,
rewind?
but under 10 grand for everything every year.
That sounds appealing to some for sure.
So they cashed out at 960, and then
We
they'll
should
go
interview
there.
them now and interview them in January.
No, the one of the owners has had a trailer up there for years. They know they've been in there
It
in the
definitely
winter,
takes a certain kind of person to do that. That's for damn sure.
but it's an option. It's giving people something to go to, where it means
You know,
this is the truth. It's freeing up inventory because the person who bought it is probably a young family looking to move in, get a nice place in Scarborough, it's a great lot, 50 by 120. It's got a nice big oversized single car garage. It's got this big huge kitchen, 3 large bedrooms. Like it's a good house. Like it's not like that. You just got to spend the money to update it.
But tell me
So-
though. So
Supply to the market.
what were if I'm the buyer coming
Yeah.
to look at your house, one of
Yeah.
the 65 people, and I'm one of the 11 that wanted to make an offer.
Yeah.
What are my other options? What am I comparing your listing to? Are there other
Well,
options?
because there wasn't a lot of options, we listed another one at Morningside and Lawrence for 800. Right. So again, ton of showings, ton of offers. All
th-
ton of
this is
showings.
the same
Offers are next
person-
week.
But like the same crowd is going to both those houses? Like
Maybe
those are
not,
both
right? Like Nielsen and
options?
401's a pretty cool little neighborhood. It's got a nice, there's upside there. There's homes that have sold that are totally renovated, larger, like over $1 million, 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, even maybe some like a different type of lot or something. Like there's quite a bit of,
Well, but we see the trajectory of listings going down. We see articles of people complaining that the listings they were expecting didn't come on the market. So from your like in person, in depth, on the ground experience, is there more, less?
So I'll give you another
Same?
example. I went out with a group of buyers last weekend, and Thursday, sorry, and we booked one showing. We hadn't been out in weeks. Oh wow, a house came up that was a semi-detached bungalow.
In the
Okay.
parameters.
In the parameters. It was a semi-detached bungalow in Richmond Hill, so that's where we were going. And on Wednesday and Thursday morning, 3 more came up. We ended up seeing 4 in one day, and then there was an exclusive listing across the street. So there was 5 new listings in that neighborhood, all within the same week. So
Why,
there is
did
more
something
inventory.
just-
There
did
is more
something
inventory.
Sell for like a crazy amount the week before, and everybody else was just like, okay.
I think
it's
people were
time.
holding off, whatever it was. But yeah, prices have also gone up. The exclusive listing was asking a ridiculous price. Like it was like they wanted 1.2, and I was like, oh, that's the
But
last
what do you
sales are nowhere
feel?
near
What do you
that.
feel? What do you feel is how like you feel like some more is coming on?
Well, I feel like buyers right now are still willing to go and pay top dollar. Whatever the highest price point is of that home, they're willing to pay it. They're going to
Yeah, I
say
mean,
that sold in March, that sold in January, that sold last year. Market's gone up. They're going to pay more today than ever before.
4 is not options, by the way. 4,
Remember,
if you're a
we didn't do a
buyer
stat
sending
show.
No.
We didn't do a stat show this week, but we've talked about this in the stat show where 1 month of inventory and what it would take for it to be a significant impact, right? So right now we're at 1 month. Like it didn't go to 2 months. It didn't go.
No, it went down. It went
It didn't
down.
increase that much, but
Went to
there's
like
still
0.95.
But there's a little bit more inventory now, but still the demand is swallowing it up.
But
There's also more buyers come to the market in the spring and the fall too.
more demand. More demand. Yeah. I mean, the immigration's starting to flood in too, right? People are definitely
don't know.
coming back for school, even though all the schools are like having issues with sexual assaults. But people are coming back to
Careful.
schools. People are going
Yep.
back to work. This is all way too much.
Yeah.
Way too much. It's way too
Well-
much. And the
well,
prices are just going to keep going up. There's
Prices are
nobody
going to keep going up.
saying otherwise. You can't find, there's not one idiot on YouTube saying prices will go down soon.
What are you talking about? There's 10,000 of them. There's a lot of still talk about the bears that they're all coming out with the stock market
Sure.
and the real estate market. Tons of them. I think maybe they're just not on your YouTube feed,
Maybe because they're
Yeah.
idiots. Hold on.
but they're not
So
real estate agents. That's for sure.
Bank of, okay, so you also sent me. Do we have time? We have like 1
Yeah.
minute. You want to
No, we got 5 minutes.
Do we? Bank of Canada says it will raise interest rates before reducing bond holdings. But this
Yeah.
is just a bunch of like headline grabbing malarkey here.
True, but what they're just saying basically, because the most recent announcement was that they were keeping the overnight rate at 0.25%. They were just saying they're not, and they've been reducing their bond buying. So everyone's saying, well, are you going to go and eliminate or go back to a more traditional bond buying program? And they were saying no. Before we reduce it any further from 2 billion, we're going to increase the interest rate, and we're going to increase the interest rate once the economy has made a full recovery.
So
So
now it's going to 2 billion per month instead of 2 billion a week.
no, right now it's still 2 billion a week.
Right. So there's something
After they'll
about
go to
going
2 billion a
down.
month.
Yeah.
So, but they went from 5 to 4 to 3 to 2. So everyone's like, "Oh, are you going to keep going?" And they're like, "No, we're not going to go any further. We're going to keep it here until we raise interest rates, which won't be until the recovery is complete." And that's when is that going to happen? When's the recovery going to be complete?
So hold on a sec though. Like if you read this thing, if you can understand this article, you probably went to some kind of economics university course because
Probably.
it's a little hard to understand what's going on because they're not only is the Bank of Canada buying the bonds, but they're also selling them back because they're coming due.
So what they're saying is the maturity of some of those bonds. So some of the
Right.
bonds that they've issued in the past
Right.
are going to be coming due. So they've got to be able to come up with money to be able to pay off those investors.
Right. So they need to buy more so that they can do that.
Yes.
Perfect system. There's a lot
Yeah.
of well thought out, very productive systems. They all must be just freaking out about Bitcoin like we have no idea. Like we have no idea. All right. Well, we've talked everything to death today, sir.
Great.
Had a good time.
Yeah, me too. I had a great time. What a great
Good podcast.
what a great episode again. Next week we've got Nesma.
Do we? Is that next week?
Yep.
Nice. Exciting.
That should be great.
That should be great.
Um,
She just tweeted out like I had 5 listings. Guess which one did the best? It was like 2 condos, something in Milton, something in Oakville, something I don't know. But Milton did the best.
Milton. Yeah.
Milton.
I've been to Milton a couple times. One time
driven
someone
through
called us.
Milton.
One time someone called us, and I guess they went on the website and we're like, yeah, we want this guy. And I'm like, I've never been to Milton in my life at this point. And they're like, send that guy. So then they sent me, and they're like, no, they requested you. You got to go. And I said, okay. So I drove all the way out there, and I really didn't want to have to go back.
Isn't Chudley's in Milton? I think I
I
go
don't
to
even know what that
Milton
is.
every year.
Yeah.
You know where Chudley's apple farm is? You've never
No.
had a Chudley's pie?
We go to Colburn, which is in the East End, like East. You never been to Colburn? You ever been to the Big Apple?
Speaking of yeah, I actually have, yeah.
Oh,
The
that backfired.
that's a big apple.
Yeah.
Okay, we don't have time for this. We'll talk
Okay.
later.
Good.
Well, nice to talk to you, TK.
If anybody hasn't liked, comment, or subscribed, like maybe just you've been listening to the show or you've been watching, but like you're just like, hey, commenting's not really my thing and I don't really want to do it. Just maybe just do it this one time. Just shout out a comment. Just be like, hey,
What'd you say? Shout out a condom?
a condo. I said, shout out a comment, just, hey,
Did you
how are you?
see-
Thanks for the episode. We
I just
appreciate
got
it.
a price list from Pickering. That's like
Yeah, the
over
UCE.
$900 a foot.
Everyone's pushing that right now.
What a market, baby.
Mm.